For young people in a city like Auckland, it can be really hard to get ahead. The cost of living is through the roof, rent prices are incredibly expensive, and home ownership is almost an unobtainable goal. So that's why we're starting to see so many people seeking out alternative forms of living. Just like this next couple that we're about to meet, who have built a beautiful tiny house on wheels that's enabled them to escape the rent trap. Hey Amanda, how's it going?
Hi, nice to meet you, Bryce.
Lovely to meet you. G'day Cam, great to meet you.
Hey Bryce, nice to meet you too, mate.
This tiny house just looks so cool. First of all, what was it that actually inspired you to build a tiny house?
I think it was a multitude of things. We calculated how much rent we'd spent when we were at uni, and buying a proper house pretty much wasn't an option for us. We didn't have enough money. Yeah.
It all started when we were actually still living in Wellington, and Cam had just finished his masters, and we were sort of entering this new phase of life, and we were moving up to Auckland for our careers, and we did sort of just look at how much we'd been paying in rent and did the math, and we're like, okay, well, for our 5-year plan, if we're going to be paying rent for the next 5 years, how much money are we going to spend? And it actually just made more sense to find something to invest in that was our own instead of basically lining someone else's pocket and paying someone else's mortgage. And then we bumped into our builder, and it all just kind of unfurled from there. And we couldn't afford Auckland house prices even 2 years ago. They're even bigger now. But the restrictions and getting enough for a deposit just wasn't realistic for us. And we did want to own something that was our own. So it was just sort of a no-brainer. And we love the environmental side of it as well. So it was a dual financial and lifestyle choice. So it was just a perfect combination.
And can we talk about actually how you found this parking spot? Because it's a great area, really good sized section, and you're very close to town here as well, aren't you?
Yeah, so one of my aunts, she mentioned it in passing to a friend while having lunch one day. And she said, oh, we've got some space, you know, out in West Auckland, they can come and look. And we were sort of like, oh, we're like, neither of us had really spent a lot of time out this way. So we came out and had a look, and it was just perfect. Like, there'll be no trouble getting the house in. Yeah, so we just came to an agreement with them, and yeah, and we've been here, yeah, almost 2 years. So they're really lovely, and we get along really well, and we've managed to build a little home.
You certainly have, and all around the home you've done some really nice landscaping, and it's great to see you've got a great outdoor living space here as well.
Yeah, we did this with the help of my dad mainly. Built the deck and the path and the furniture as well. So
we've had a few working bees.
Yeah, a few working bees. Pretty much, yeah, that's right, I had my whole family up, so mum, dad and my 2 brothers, and literally just they all got put to work.
Yeah.
And now tell me about the tiny home. What size is this?
It's 2.5 metres by 8 metres and 4.25 high.
So it's about 20 square metres, 26 if you include the loft.
Fantastic size. And can you tell me about the design of the home?
Yeah, so it's got cedar and corrugate iron. The main thing for us was to have something that was good looking.
Outside and inside.
We didn't really like the boxy 3-metre ones. We just liked something that was a bit more a cottagey look.
It was something that really drew us to Marcel's design, because he's such a craftsman that he put so much effort onto the exterior, just as much as the interior. So the Japanese cedar and the corrugate, and even the choice of joinery, and he's put little copper ends on all of the corners of the house, like all these tiny little design features that he's put in that we sort of didn't really know about when he was doing it, but it was just his thing that he did. Another really nice feature that Marcel put on the house was he's actually cut out a little elephant face of Ganesh from sheet metal and stuck it on the apexes of each of the house, and Ganesh is the remover of obstacles, and it's also the god of science and art, and we're science and art, and yeah, it's just a nice little detail that just sits above us and watches over us, and yeah, it's lovely.
What a lovely little touch on the house. Well, the exterior of the home just looks fantastic. I love all of the attention to detail, and I am super excited to explore the inside. Can we take a look?
Yeah, sure.
Sure thing.
All right. Oh, this is really lovely. I love how open and light this home is, and that bay window down the end just creates such a wonderful feature. It really just helps to sort of pull you into the garden and into the exterior, and just makes the home feel so much more expansive, doesn't it?
That's right. You can even see the Sky Tower in the distance there.
City views, yeah.
City views, absolutely. And when it came to designing your tiny house, what were the things in here that you just absolutely had to have?
Native wood floor was a massive one. So we actually got the timber, that's recycled tawa from an old state house that we went and lifted them up, Amanda and I. Saved it from landfill. And also, yeah, the fireplace. I never had a fireplace growing up. And it was just a non-negotiable feature.
Yeah. He wanted the
I had to have one.
ambience.
Needed the ambience of a fireplace.
When we first moved in, it was just before winter kicked in. And we were here with all the windows open, all the sheets thrown off, like cooking.
Because we were pumping
because
that
we were pumping the fire.
Yeah.
And it just, of course, just goes up.
And it goes all the way up to the loft, and so all our friends hated us because we were so toasty and they were bloody freezing.
Yeah.
It's a nice problem to have.
It is a nice problem to have, yeah. No complaints here.
Yeah. And you've got a really great sized kitchen here, don't you?
Oh yeah, with the kitchen, I guess we really like cooking, and some tiny houses had the old like L and almost quite enclosed. We like the openness of this kitchen.
Because some other designs had the kitchen sort of underneath the loft, and then they would sort of have the kitchen and bathroom quite close together, and that was something we sort of wanted to avoid. We wanted the bathroom to be away. You can kind of just go away and be private and not sort of be in amongst what everyone's doing, where everyone's cooking and eating and entertaining and all that kind of thing. So you're having the nice open kitchen means that we can move around each other, and it kind of has this nice flow out to the deck, and it's very easy to have people over because it's so open and you're not sort of all tucked away in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, and a very fully featured kitchen too. You've got a great sized oven, good fridge, and even a dishwasher in here.
Yeah, the dishwasher was actually Cam's idea.
Yeah, I just remember, growing up, I've done my time washing dishes manually. I'm like, we want a dishwasher, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And it's just perfect for when for hiding stuff. Like now, for example, to make it look really clean, you should see the mess in there.
That thing's chocker.
Oh, it's chocker. Oh, yeah.
How do the services in this house work? Are you on the grid here?
Yeah, so it's a hybrid system. We couldn't really afford, first off, to get a massive solar system. Ideally, we would have liked to. At the moment, we've just got one deep cycle battery and one panel, and it runs the lighting and the extractor fan for the stove and the extractor fan for the toilet. So then all our main appliances, like the fridge and dishwasher and washer dryer, are all on mains power, and then we're on gas for hot water and cooking.
Yeah. Good amount of storage for all your things in here as well.
Yeah, Marcel did the open cabinets for us, which we really love because it makes things really nice and accessible, and it makes the space a lot more colourful as well because you can see all of your little bits and pieces, and Cam and I love ceramics, so we love having those on display and things like that. So yeah, the storage is just great.
And then over here as well, we've got your dining area, and there's a bench seat down the end as well.
Yeah, so we think we can probably get 6 of us?
6 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dinner table is macrocapa, the same as the bench top, so Marcel hand did it all, and he's a bit of a wood wizard with macrocapa especially, and so he designed the table so that it can fold sort of underneath itself and go up against the wall, and so it can be totally tucked away, and then you've just got the bay window completely open. So you can fold the dinner table away, move the chairs out, and the entire bay window actually pulls all the way out to the oven, and then the squabs go down, and it's a guest bed.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then it looks like you've got quite a bit of storage under there as well.
Yep.
Yep. So that's all of like the camping gear, the hammock, lots of little bits and pieces under there. So it's quite nice to have it all tucked away, but it's all those little things that you need but don't necessarily use all the time. Like we do go camping quite a bit, but when you're not using it, it's nicer just to have it there tucked away, and yeah.
And then behind you, we've got your staircase, and you've also built in a tremendous amount of storage into this area, haven't you?
Yes, we've got a his and hers wardrobe situation going on. So mine's the closer one and Cam's the far one. So that was really nice. You definitely want to have space to hang your clothes up and that kind of thing. So the stairs are all cubby holes. So there's all storage space. We've got like a little pantry and a place for pots and pans and cooking dishes and all that kind of thing. And so we've really utilised the entire staircase for everything that it's worth.
And then through here, we've got your bathroom.
Yeah.
This is actually a really big bathroom for a tiny house, isn't it?
Everybody says that. So it's the biggest shower that I think I've ever had in a house. It's like a metre by metre. We've got the shower dome to stop, all of the moisture going up because we're directly underneath the sleeping loft. Again, we've got heaps of storage, and we've continued the tile flooring into here, and it's, nice and light and quite a nice little space to be in.
And the stone basin that you've got there is just such a nice feature as well.
Yeah, as a geologist, had to have some sort of, you know, fit some rocks in the
Rock
place
feature.
somewhere. This is made out of gabbro. It's an old river stone from down south. It's like a company in Christchurch that we got it from. When I showed Marcel it and brought it up, we were already concerned about the weight of the house, and he was just like, goodness, Cam, if the house is overweight, we know the reason. It's this bloody sink.
20
It's
kg.
it's a 20 kilogram sink, yeah.
And then with the composting toilet here, it looks like you've actually built a custom surround for the Nature's Head, which is such a good idea, because it is such a good toilet, but it's not a pretty toilet, is it?
No,
It's not. And especially for guests and for people coming over who don't know how to use composting toilets and have never really encountered one before, it makes it look a little bit more welcoming and a bit more just like a normal toilet and a bit easier, because I think if they saw all of the workings and the kind of bucket and all that kind of thing, it would be a little bit more easy to use. And it makes it look nice and tidy and clean and yeah.
Mm. And then above us now we've got your sleeping loft. Can we take a look at that?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
All right, after you. These stairs are actually a really comfortable design to use, especially the way that they sort of twist around here and lead you right into the highest part of the gable roof.
Yeah, it's nice. When we got to designing this part, the main thing for us was we did just come up here to sleep, but we wanted to be able to sit up in bed and read or watch telly or that sort of thing. So it's the perfect height for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. So you come up onto the little landing and then you just jump into bed, and even just like lying up here on a Sunday afternoon in the sunshine, reading is just bliss.
And then this here is where the television raises up, isn't it?
Yeah, so again, that was all Cam's idea, engineering it. So the TV's on a hydraulic arm and the lid's designed so that it doesn't sort of hit the TV. It's just got little rollers and it just gently pushes the lid back and the TV just rises out on its own.
That really is such a good idea though, because a TV is one of those things that it's really nice to have it inside the home, but it's not something that you want to have to look at all the time, is it?
Yeah, that was because the TV's sort of on the larger side. We really love the beautiful line of the ceiling, and we didn't want it to be permanently in a corner and sort of be a focal point. Like when people came over to visit, we didn't want it to be the centre of attention because there's so many other beautiful features to look at. So it's really nice to just be able to tuck it away and just pull it out when we want it.
And then it's really nice that you've built the skylight in here as well, because that's always just such a great addition to a sleeping loft, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and it's especially good in winter if we pump the fire a bit too much. It's good to let the heat out, and also even in summer as well. It's good to leave open.
And of course, Cam, you're a geologist, so you needed a display shelf for all of your rocks up here.
I sure did, and I tell you, it was a fight to get that shelf, Bryce. It was like heavy negotiations. I think we almost hired lawyers to sort it out. But, hey, we got there, and the rocks are on display.
Yeah.
And don't they look great?
They do look great. They really do.
Yeah.
And now, you've been living in the tiny house together for 2 years. How are you finding tiny house life?
We
love
it.
Yeah.
Describing it to people who don't live in tiny houses and sort of aren't involved in the community, it's easier to just describe it as a one-bedroom apartment because that's really what it is. And so we've been living together for quite a while now, and we find it quite a nice and easy way to live, especially now having the outdoor space as well. And we've had this beautiful summer that it's been really nice to entertain and have people around, and we actually just find that we've gotten into this really nice groove, and there's nothing that we would change, and we're on this beautiful piece of land, and we're really lucky because a lot of our friends that are our age are sort of still renting, and they're still living in big apartments that are, you know, not insulated and they're cold and a bit drafty and all those kind of things. So we've got this home that we own, that we can do what we like to it. I can hang all my art up and Cam can have his rocks on display, and it's lovely to have a home that you can call your own, that you can do what you like to, and you know, we put so much love into the design and things. We're very emotionally attached to it.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
At first, the novelty took probably about 6 months to wear off.
The novelty hasn't worn off for me.
Oh, hasn't it? I mean, like, it just feels like home now, especially in the first 6 months. I think we were just so stoked to have something that was ours, that we had a good hand in designing. And just during the building process, you debate whether you should do all these little things. You're like, oh no, it'll be okay. But we just kept going, no, let's just do it perfectly. Let's do it well. Let's just pay attention to detail. And then doing all of that really pays off. Because when you're living in it, you're like, oh man, I'm so glad we did that.
Yeah, so glad we got a dishwasher.
Yeah, so glad we got a dishwasher. So glad we did all these little things that then all compile into one big thing that makes it just so personalised, and it really feels like ours.
And it has just been so nice especially in this housing climate, it's been really nice to be like, oh, it's actually our home and we own it, and we're not having to pay someone else to live in a home, and we're not lining someone else's pocket. We're actually doing it completely for ourselves. And so moving into this was just such a lovely moment.
So what was the cost of building this tiny house?
Yeah, so all up, including the landscaping, deck, furniture, all that stuff, about 140.
Fantastic. Compared to the cost of a house in Auckland City right now, which is $1 million on average city.
It's about a tenth of that.
It's about a tenth of that.
Yeah.
And what do you think the future's going to hold for you both now?
So our end goal would be to buy a big patch of land, ideally somewhere out west, live in a couple of tiny houses and like try to grow an orchard.
Have an orchard, have a couple of alpacas.
Plant, alpacas, llamas,
Some chickens.
chickens with the mohawks.
Yeah. We'd love to have
Yeah.
this house plus another house, because when we decided we want to have a family, it was, the whole children thing didn't really come into our initial design, so we haven't really left them much space. So it would be really lovely to...
There's a shed there.
There's a shed. There's a shed. We could, the ultimate dream would, our own piece of land with a couple of tiny houses and just build a little haven of tiny living and, and be fully off-grid, have the big solar system. Yeah, that would be the ultimate dream.
Yeah. Well, that really is such a beautiful dream, and this home is an incredible start to making that a reality. Thank you both so much for sharing your wonderful home with me.
Thanks, Bryce.
Cam and Amanda really have done such a brilliant job with this home. Living in a city like Auckland really doesn't give young people a lot of options, and yet here they've found the perfect way of getting out of the rent trap, investing their money into something that's all their own, and getting themselves onto the property ladder.